Hello lovelies, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video we'll be making this lovely ball gown for our princesses today. If this is your first time of stopping by, thank you for clicking on this video. Please consider subscribing to this channel, and without wasting so much time, let's go into the video. So for this video, for this tutorial, we'll be starting off with our flay. I like to cut my flay first because that's the larger part of the style. So what I did is just to get a rough estimate of where my waist measurement is going to fall in, and my waist measurement is 26 inches. So I am going to divide my waist measurement divided by 4. I'm going to divide it by 4, and that's what we have there. And you are going to consider your zipper allowance as well in your measurement. So once I get my waist measurement, as you can see, I will go from there. I'm going to start taking my full measurement, my full the length of the flay. That's my half length, my full measurement minus my half length. The remaining is what I'm going to be. I'll go ahead to mark here. So this is it after marking it. As you notice, I did not add any allowance to these. That's because we are going to be attaching a band at the end of it. So this is our flay. I'm going to go ahead and cut 3 more of these to get a full, just to make it full because of the parts of the style. So we're going to go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and cut the pieces we are going to be using for this flay part. And for this, I'm going to be cutting out 2.5 inches for this. So I'm going to be cutting out 2.5 inches. I have about, I think, 150 inches for this, if I am not mistaken. So it's a lot. So these are my pieces for once after I was done cutting it out. Not 150. I'm going to put everything, all the measurements, in the description box. Please check it out. So once I was done with it, I went ahead to join all the pieces just to get a very long piece for it. And I'm going to go ahead and fold this. You see the way I folded it. Please go ahead and fold it the same way. So going into our bodies, the first thing I did is to mark a straight line to serve as our starting point. As you can see, my fabric is folded into 4 plus my zipper allowance at the right side. I am cutting the front and the back bodies together. So I went ahead to mark the length of my half length, adding 1 inch allowance for joining. So once I am done, we are going to go ahead and start taking our measurement. And remember, our measurement is going to be starting from the center front. So the first thing I did is to mark half of my shoulder measurement, and I added ½ inch for stitching allowance. And I also marked, I went down by 6.5 inches for my shoulder, for my armhole, for my bust point. So I'm just connecting the line straight. Once I am done with her, the next thing I did is to take my neck measurement, and for my neck width I did 3 inches, and then for the neck depth I also did 3 inches. I wanted a wide neckline, so this neckline is for our front bodies. Once I am done with it, I'm going to go ahead and mark my back neckline, and for this I'm going down by 1 inch, and I'll connect it to the front neckline that we marked earlier. I'm going to go ahead and take ½ of my bust measurement. That's my bust measurement divided by 4, and because we are marking directly on our fabric, I am adding my allowance now, and I did the same thing for my waistline. My waistline divided by 4 plus 1.5 inches allowance. Then I'm going to go ahead and connect my armhole line. Once I am done with that, I'm going to go ahead and mark my shoulder slope, and for this I'm going down by 0.5, that's half of an inch, and I'll connect it to my shoulder line. And that's basically all for the bodice. I'm going to cut the back neckline first, separate it before cutting the front neckline. If you haven't subscribed up to this moment, please take 1 minute to hit on the subscribe button, join the growing family. And to my old subscribers, I say thank you very much for all your support so far. I really appreciate you all. Thank you. So I went ahead to cut out my lining pieces for my front and my back bodies. If you have your normal lining, please make use of it, but for me, I use the same fabric for my lining. The next thing I'm going to do is to place front facing front for my front neck, for my front body, and I'm going to go ahead and pin the neckline. Once I am done pinning it, I'm going to go to my sewing machine and stitch it down by half of an inch. And then for my back bodies, I'm going to do the same thing, but the only difference is that while stitching my neckline, I'm not going to stitch the zipper allowance. So my stitching is going to start from my zipper allowance. I hope you understand this. And I'll stitch the neckline, and I'll do the same thing for the other side of the neckline. So this is it. After I was done, I'm going to go ahead and make notches around the neckline, and also for the back one as well. So you can see I did not stitch my back zipper allowance, just like I mentioned earlier. I'm going to go ahead and turn this to the back, to the right side, sorry. And if you have a light at this moment, please go ahead and iron your pieces down. So I'm going to go ahead and place this front facing front. Remember, this side, the upper side, is our lining. Once I am done, I'm going to open this up. By the time you open it up, you will notice that your lining is at one side, and then your front body is at one side. That's your lining is going, if you open it up, it's going to be facing main fabric to main fabric and lining to lining, front facing front. So I went ahead to arrange my shoulder line to match each other, or my neckline, and then I'm going to go ahead and pin it all the way through, and also pin my lining. Once I am done, I'll stitch this down, and I'll repeat the same process for the other side. So this is it. After I was done, I'm just taking out my pins, and then I'll turn it to the right side. As you can see, my shoulder is inside, the front and the back inside. You can't see any rough edges. And look at the other side, I'm also inside. So that's the reason for placing stitching from inside. Then the next thing you're going to do is to work on our armhole. So for our armhole, I'm going to open up my fabric. You can see the way I separated the back and the front bodies. Just do the same thing for it, just do the same thing as you see me do. So the next thing I'm going to do is to fold it, just like you see me do. Please go ahead and do the same thing. Fold it. Once you fold it and getting to the end of the other fabric, you use that other side to cover the folded one. I don't know how else is to explain this, but just look at the video, you will understand. Once I use it to cover it, I'm going to go ahead and pin this down, and I'll start pinning all the way to the end of the armhole. Once I am done pinning it, I'll stitch it all the way around with half of an inch. And the next thing I did is to make notches around the armhole before pulling it out from the other side. So So this is it after I was done. This is the reason for going through that process, so that by the time you stitch it, the armhole is well stitched, all the rough edges is inside. It doesn't have to start scratching the child while wearing it. So I'm going to repeat the same process for the other armhole, just like you see me do. Please do the same. There's nothing else about it. So this is it after I was done. You can see the two armhole. The wrong side is well keep put in place, the other side is also clean and neat. The next thing we are going to do is to work on the seam line on the seam side. So just like you did for the shoulder, you are going to repeat that process here. All you have to do is to open the seam side and then open the back bodice. Place the two armhole line together. Once you place it together, you're going to go ahead and pin this down just to keep it in place. And then you are going to start pinning all the way through. I'm going to go ahead and stitch it by the allowance that we added. Remember, I added 1.5 inches, so that's exactly what I'm going to use to stitch it down. So this is it after stitching it. You can see the front, the inside and the outside is closed, and this is the other side. Once I am done, you can see how neat it looks. If you haven't seen a video of my ball gown, please, you need to check it out because it's giving professionalism. Please check it out. So for my flare pattern, you can see I've gone ahead to cut out the pieces into 4, and I'm going to go ahead and stick it together just to get a full flare to work with. So I'm going to place all this together and then stick it down. So while cutting these pieces, please add ½ inch allowance to all sides so that you can be able to stick it to one another. So this is it after I was done. The next thing I did is to mark from the waistline. I'm going down by 2 inches all the way around. And once I am done, what I am going to do is to take that fabric piece I prepared earlier that I showed you guys, and I'm going to go ahead and stitch this all the way around that 2 inches that I marked. And once I am done with that, from that one I'm going down by 3 inches, and then I'll stitch each round, and then 3 inches. That's what I'm going to go down, and then I keep stitching till I exhaust the fabric. I hope you understand this. So this is my net. I've gone ahead to fold it to have a long piece of net. You don't want to start cutting all the way, and I have 4 inches here. If you want it fuller than mine, please go ahead and get more net, but for me I have 4 inches here. So I'm going to go ahead and mark the length of my net, and remember this net is supposed to be 1 inch shorter than the first layer of the gown. I don't know what to call it. That's where you have stripe of fabric of pieces, so it's going to be 1 inch shorter. So all I'm doing is to take my the length of the net. I'll keep measuring till I exhaust the net, and I'll go ahead and cut it out. So this is it after I was done. You can see I have 3 layers of it. So the next thing I'm going to do is to open up the net and then place it together. I'm going to be gathering the 3 pieces together because it's a very light fabric. So I just go ahead to gather it exactly my waistline plus my zipper allowance. So this is the piece after I was done with all the stitching, and the next thing I'm going to do is to work on the horizontal part of it. So for that, I've cut out the pieces. I think I have about 15 pieces of this. That's, I measured the length from the beginning of the paper to the end of it. Whatever I have there, that's what I used to cut this out, and I think I have about 19 inches or 18.5 if I'm not mistaken. So the next thing I'm going to do is start placing them. Once I place it, I'm going to pin it down. So the excess at the end, I'm going to trim it off, just like you see me do, show you guys. So I'm going to start placing them. While I place and I'm okay with what I have, I'm going to pin it down. There's no measurement for this. I use my eye to place it, but I think I have in each pattern of it, I have about 3 of it in each pattern of the paper. So I'm going to go ahead and pin this down. Once I am done pinning it down, I will stitch it all the way from the end to the beginning, just like you see me do for the second one. Please go ahead and do the same thing, and I'll continue with other side until I exhaust all the pieces that I have. So this is it after I was done. It's coming together. I was done, and I'm not going to remove this paper at this point because we still want it to hold all these pieces together as we continue with the tutorial. So this is how it looks. I just decided to keep it on the floor so that you guys can see it properly. And then I'm going to go ahead and measure this round to get a long fabric. For the width of the fabric, I have 5 inches. Then for the length is as long as the round circle is. So the next thing I'm going to do is to fold in the 2 edges by 1/2 inch, and then fold it in and then iron it. And then for the flap part, I'm going to mark 1/2 inch on, so that by the time we want to stitch it down, we will not be mistaken of where, we will not be confused of where to fix it or to stitch it. So this is this fabric I'm done. What I'm going to do is to open it up and then place it at that 1/2 inch that we marked, and then stitch it all the way through. So this is it after I was done stitching. You can see you have a little bit of bump as I was stitching it, a little bit of fold sorry. So just keep maneuvering your way through it so that it doesn't it's not so bad. And this is my net. I've gone ahead to gather it all the way through. The next thing I'm going to do is to attach this piece to our bodice, and by attaching it, I'm going to be doing front facing front. So I'm going to separate this. This is our lining and this is my main bodice. So I'm going to be stitching it all the way down. Remember, we are stitching just the main bodice, the lining is up, it's separate. So this is it. I'm done stitching it down. I'm just taking out the pins I used to hold it down before stitching. And once I am done, I'm going to go ahead and stitch our net. I'm just showing you guys I'm not taking out the paper until I am done with the back, that's the zipper allowance, before taking it out. So I'm going to place the net inside the fabric and then stitch it all the way through. That the net is going to be under the first layer that we attached. So this is it after I was done attaching it. We are going to work on our lining now. And then for my lining, I'm going to the back lining, I'm going to get the center piece of the lining, make a notch there. And then for this my lining, I have 2 yards of it, and I cut it out according to the length of my waist, and then join it to have a very long lining, since I'm not adding a hard net. So once I make a notch at the center of my lining, I'm going to place it front facing front of my lining bodice, and then I'm going to go ahead and start and stitch it. By while stitching it, I'm going to make plates into it because it's very long, so I'm going to plait it into the bodice. I'm just trying to get the zipper side of the lining so that I can place it on the zipper side of my bodice, and I'll pin it together before plaiting into every other one and then stitching down. And I'll do the same thing for my other side. So this is it after I was done. You can see that the two fabric is separate from each other. It doesn't have to be together. So this is our main bodice and then our lining. The next thing I'm going to do is to work on the sleeve. Sorry. Is to work on the zip, not sleeve. So the next first thing I'm going to do is to, for the lining, I'm going to get the zipper area and then place it together. I'll measure from the waistline down to about 6 inches or 5.5 inches, depending on how open you want your zipper area to be. So I measured 6 inches down, and then from that 6 inches I'm going to stitch close the zipper allowance. And then for the main bodice, I'm going to as well hold it down, and then from the 6 inches I'll stitch it down. But make sure that you're holding all the pieces down while before stitching all the 3 layers of the net, if yours is also 3 layers, and then the front one, the front piece. And while stitching that front piece, make sure that it's matching, the stripes are matching each other, and then I'll stitch it all the way through. So this is it after I was done with stitching the zipper area. The next thing we are going to do is to work on our sleeve. And for our sleeve, I'm going to be working on the main bodice first. I will just place it this way, just like you see me do, just like you place your sleeve, your zip. The front of the zip is facing the front of my fabric, basically, and then I'm going to pin it all the way through. And when you get to your net, make sure that you're pinning the net as well on the piece. Once I am done pinning this down, I'm going to go ahead and stitch it all the way down. Once I am done with that, I'll place the other side of the front bodice and then stitch it down as well. So this is it after I was done stitching it down. I'm just taking out all my pins, and then we are going to go ahead and work on our lining. But before that, I'm just cutting out all the paper there so that we can use our lining to close up that area. And then for our lining, I'm sorry for the noise, my neighbor is really hitting on the net. I'm going to take out all the paper later on. At this point I was tired already, so I'm going to do this later. So the next thing I'm going to do is to open my zip so that we can attach our zip, our lining. I lost a clip of when I started pinning this down. Please check out my tutorial for ball gown. You will see it where I did it very, very well and well detailed one. So I just open up my zip and then use my lining to close up the zipper that we added. I'll stitch that place we left open. I'll stitch it down and then stitch all the way from here to downward. I don't know if you guys understand this. So I'm just the zip is in between my fabric and my lining, and that neckline we left open, we are going to stitch it down before stitching all the way through from the neckline to where the zipper allowance ends. I hope you understand this. Please, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do take 1 minute. Oh god, I don't even know what I'm saying again. Please take 1 minute to hit on the subscribe button. Join the growing family. Support your sister in any way that you can. So this is the gown after I was done. You can see that it's looking lovely. So this is the back bodice. You can see how neat it is. and look at the zip. You can see how neat is it. So I'm just pulling out the zipper area at the neckline so that it can relax well, and this is it after I was done. So for the inside, all the rough edges are inside. All you have to do is to serge it, and this is the front part of the gown. I'm taking out the paper later on because at this point I was tired already. To tell you the truth, I was tired. This gown took me how many days? Going to 1 week to finish it up. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give me a thumbs up if you do, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed to my channel, and I'll see you in my next video. Thank you for watching. Bye.